It's been so long since you smiled. Tell me where you left an empty child. Oh, let's have a feast on those who least expected this. The time is now, I swear we won't regret it. Won't regret it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dark. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. Addicted, addicted to this. No, we won't tell a single soul. No. Of every passing night we've sold. Oh, this is our time, our place, a new day is in bloom. Come and see what it's like to just accept it. Yeah, accept it. Yeah, we sleep there under stars in the shelter of the dark. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. We're addicted, addicted to this. Take me to the light. I got tunnel vision sight. I got higher than I like. Too pretentious to rectify. Looking back, I know you tried. No, but does it still possess your life? Let's go out and get electric one more time. Everything in the world could be as we left it. Yeah, as we left it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dark.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
We are taking over. Yeah, we are here to stay. Don't get comfortable in your crown. It's about to come crashing down. We are the wild ones. We are the rallying of guns. We are the fire to the fuse. We are the reckless youth. We are the reckless youth.
Live tonight from the Kentucky Speedway, it is the iRacing National Series top split here tonight for their 35-lap event. After two races at Phoenix and Michigan, both in the daytime, it's going to be quite a change from what they are usually used to. Welcome to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. It's a pleasure to have you here tonight. I am bringing you the commentary and production here tonight as the one and the only Gary Weaver. Currently, right now, the starting grid just about to line up on pit road, and we shall see who starts where after qualifying here tonight. Jay Beasley starts off in the first place position. Second place is going to be probably an incorrect format here, unfortunately. So regardless, it will be these drivers lining up, hopefully listed in order actually. Jay Beasley, Eric Eisenbeck starting off in second, Blake Brown third, fourth place will be Darrell Carter, fifth place will be Jacob Gibson, sixth place Johnny Reed Foley, seventh place is Christian Novak, eighth place will be Ryan Berry, ninth place Bradley Yeo, I believe is how that's pronounced. 10th place will be Brad Lane. Douglas Gullett starts off in 11th. 12th place will be Adam Brady. 13th place is going to be Keola Hankins. 14th place goes to Tanner, I believe that's Hotch Stettler. Goodness. That's going to be definitely an interesting name to pronounce. 15th place going to go to Edward Kane. 16th, Stefan, I believe that is Ben Benendi. And then Blake McCandles, Joshua Clark. At least some of these drivers are actually listed out of order over on the timing screen over here, unfortunately. So, apologies for the technical issues. Not sure as to why things had just now decided to start acting up as opposed to never. But regardless, we shall see where everyone will sort themselves out here tonight. And looking through, it does appear to be a few sorting issues, so we'll see what we can do for that next week. You can see how far the kick out is as well, and how much the cars are angled from that camera angle on the back straightaway off of turn number 2. So we'll see how much that plays into effect here for tonight's event. Issues aside, regardless, it is a pleasure to have you on here for the top split of the iRacing National Series here at Kentucky. Race 3 of 12 is about to be underway. No cautions here for tonight, and Jay Beasley will lead them down to the green flag as it flies here at Kentucky. Everyone's down and away, and here we go racing at night under the lights from Kentucky. You see up on the outside is Charles McDonald Jr. there, trying to get by Blake Brown on the 24 in that red and black machine on the inside lane. And right now it is 2 by 2, as just behind them the 17, well, labeled number 17 on the actual car, but in our timing and scoring as the number 4 of Alex Goitom on the inside lane in that number 4 and what should be the 17. He got by the 5 of Johnny Reed Foley. He looks like he's starting to fall back just ever so slightly, but for now he looks to be hanging on to it. Up front, Jay Beasley has created himself a very sizable gap between himself and the rest of the field for the time being. Joshua Clark, however, pretty much pursuing as much as possible. We'll see how this race goes on for these drivers as the track continues to cool down. It's Ryan Berry up in the number 7, who went a little bit wide in turns 3 and 4 that time around, but he managed to hang on to it luckily. Just ahead of him, Johnny Reed Foley on the inside in number 5. The 8 of Charles McDonald Jr. as they come off of turn number 2. It's going to be the 5 going down the back straightaway with the advantage, at least by half a car length from this camera angle. And now looks like the 8 will decide to back off, maybe try a crossover, but it looks like it'll just slot in directly behind that number 8 for the time being. Just up ahead of them, however, pass for position number, looks to be 5 there on the racetrack. Blake Brown in the 24. Or rather, just up out of them, the 13 of Eric Eisenbeck made a pass on the inside down the front straight for Darrell Carter, and they have sorted themselves out. Blake Brown was peeking to the inside, and he continues to do so here in turns 3 and 4. 30 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by. You see the labeled 17, but actually the number 4 of Alex Goitom trying to get by the 24 for 5th place. As they drag race down the back straightaway, it now goes to Blake Brown that time by. And unfortunately, Blake Brown will now fall a little ways back. So far, no crashes really. Everyone continues to remain on the lead lap for the time being. So we shall see how this plays out a little bit later on. Keep an eye on this outside wall as well as the race continues on. It's going to be something to watch out for sure. You see the 17 really close by on that back bumper, but he just manages to lay off that quarter panel. And you see now pretty much everyone, the thing is here, with the new damage model now on the ARCA cars, into the outside wall, it's going to be Blake Brown. He manages to save it, but a little bit of contact. It was something that I was just about to bring up, as they nearly go 3 wide down the back straightaway, is that you can't really bump draft in these cars now. If you want to, well, it's going to lift up the back bumper off of the driver in front of you, and unfortunately that usually never goes too well. Loosens up the grip just like that, as the 7 as well makes a little bit of contact, and the 24 also makes contact as well, and it's going to be the first wreck of the night. Johnny Reed Foley, unfortunately, with heavy contact. Someone's got their roof up in front of them. That is the one of Blake McCandles, and coming into this race, I'm pretty sure he's going to try and get it back around. No cautions, of course, because remember, this is the iRacing National Series, a D-Class series at minimum, but this, of course, is the top split. So majority of these drivers here are A-Class. The lowest here is C-Class, but unfortunate for the number 1 of Blake McCandles. We'll see what we can do in terms of a replay here and get that up for you as quickly as possible. Right now we're going to go to a quick replay and ride on board with the number 1 of Blake McCandles here. I'm not sure if the 24 had intentionally done that, but regardless, it will more than likely be handled in between. We'll take one more look here at this replay on board the number 24 machine. Drivers that are currently out right now, the 1 and the 5. 24 still continues on. We will now go back to live pictures right now, where Jay Beasley continues to lead the field as of right now. Still out in front, but he's got a little bit of competition directly behind him. Joshua Clark has made his way back up to the back bumper of Jay Beasley for the first time since the start of this race as well. So Jay Beasley will have to look out in that mirror for that number 3 machine of Clark, looming in the distance, slowly closing in lap by lap. Last time around, in terms of lap times, it was 1/10 of a second faster, being Joshua Clark. See the 5 back out on the racetrack. Only one faster pair is available to drivers here. Meanwhile, in the back of the field, Jacob Gibson with some heavy right side damage. Not sure where that came from exactly, but we'll see if we can find a quick replay right now to see where the 5 had, where the 9 rather, had gotten some of this damage. I believe it was from the contact that was earlier on in this race, and it was. I'll take one quick look regardless. Oh, man. It was a close moment for sure, but luckily he still manages to continue going, but decides, well, it's not exactly worthy of a faster pair right now. Last time by at the start-finish line, it was still Joshua Clark just a little bit faster than Jay Beasley at the start-finish line, and the race continues on for first place. Everyone's still really just trying to hang in there, at least as the track starts to cool down. Coming very close to the halfway point of this race, lap number 17, technically 17 and a half, but we'll go for lap 18 being the halfway point officially of this event tonight. See, getting ever so slightly closer is Jay Beasley. Let's see what he has in store. Battle off in the 7th place position between Blake Brown on the 24 and the 8 of Charles McDonald Jr. They continue to drag race here down the front straightaway into turns 1 and 2. Inside advantage going to the number 8. Looks like he will get by, but he won't fully get clear, however. You see that labeled number 66. That is the one, Blake McCandless, who got involved in the incident earlier on. So he got his fast repair as well. And just in the back, Edward Kane battling amongst two other drivers. Well, was at least battling amongst two other drivers, and now he will decide to fall back on the outside. That was for 16th and 17th. So 21 and 16 currently sit this time by. So as we have crossed into the halfway portion of this race, we'd like to remind you and take a quick break. That's a lap car that's making their way by. That's the number 5 machine. I thought that was the pass forward position, but we'd like to remind you that you can sponsor the Racing Line Broadcasting Network. Just go to facebook.com/Racing Line Broadcasting Network, and you can get a sponsorship slot for $25 US per broadcast. And now that we've crossed the halfway point, we will take a quick break, but you won't miss a single thing. We go double wide here for the first time tonight under the lights at Kentucky. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss a single thing.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe. For Audie's win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out? Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron. Drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
And we are back here at Kentucky. Apologize for any technical issues over apparently on this side. Not entirely sure what is going on, but At this point, we can only assume that it is YouTube that is having these issues, as nothing has been changed over on this end from the previous broadcast. But regardless, we are back live, and we're going to bring you the 10 laps as uninterrupted as possible, within reason for possibly being YouTube. Again, not entirely sure what would be going on with this end, but regardless, we are back live with 9 laps remaining. And currently, Joshua Clark continues to loom in the back bumper, and the back mirror, I should say, of Jay Beasley, who continues to set the pace, but Joshua Clark is practically chomping at the bit right now, waiting for the right opportunity and the best opportunity to get by in the lead. Has Jay Beasley used up all of his tires, or does he have something left to defend? Joshua Clark, however, he may have also saved something for Jay Beasley in this final run. So it's something that we'll have to wait and see as this plays out in the final few laps. You see through the timing tower that all drivers are relatively separated amongst themselves and relatively all single file. This is basically the closest battle on the racetrack right now. Jay Beasley continues to ride directly behind, Joshua Clark, however, mind you, decides to ride directly behind Jay Beasley. Right now, actually, there is another battle on the racetrack. Christian Novak on the inside, getting passed by Alex Goydam. 2 number 17s, well, which one is the real one? It's Christian Novak in the mellow yellow 17, as opposed to the black and white number 17. So a quick pass by the the white and black 17, which should be the number 4 of Alex Goydam, puts him now into position number 7 on the racetrack. 6 laps remain, and this battle continues to heat up. It has been 2 races in 2 weeks in a row where we have seen an attempt at a pass for the win, at least a finish under a second, I believe, between your top 2 finishers here after these events. So we'll see how this plays out in the final few laps. You see Joshua Clark has really lost a lot of momentum there off turn number 4. Not entirely sure if he had decided to let up. I was listening to the engine there for a quick moment. He wasn't doing that either, so wondering what exactly could be the case for Clark and for Joshua Clark here as we continue to ride on board. Oh, really wide off the corner. You saw from Jay Beasley. Does Joshua Clark go for the lead? He decides to do so on the front straightaway with 4 laps to go. This could be the pass for the lead, but with the defensive line on the inside lane, Jay Beasley continues to defend that lead for the time being, but I don't think Joshua Clark is going to give it up just yet as they go down the back straightaway. On down to the inside lane goes the number 3. It's going to be a drag race now. Off of turn number 4 with 3 laps remaining. Side by side they go, this time by the start-finish line once again. And at the start-finish line, it's going to be way too close to call. Even we're not entirely sure who had that time around as the 3 slides up the racetrack. And that might be all said and done. Going down to the inside is Joshua Clark, and he may have run away with the win. This did bring in Daryl Carter just a little bit closer to the top 2 battles. He doesn't really know where to go. He takes the top side. 2 laps remaining here at Kentucky under the lights. And Jay Beasley may have used up everything that he's got, but maybe, just maybe, he has something left for Joshua Clark here in the lead as Clark continues to run away with the lead. This time by off turn number 4, it's going to be the white flag at the start-finish line, and that means it's going to be a 1 last attempt, or 2 more attempts at least, for Jay Beasley. That's going to be 2 attempts for Joshua Clark to be as smooth as possible here on corner entry and corner exit. Off turn number 2 they come. Single file and down the back straightaway. Jay Beasley might have absolutely nothing left. He may have used up all of his tires. He doesn't have a challenge for the number 3 of Joshua Clark, who rounds turn number 4. And coming to the start-finish line, Joshua Clark wins the night race at Kentucky. And congratulations to the number 3 of Joshua Clark as the fireworks go off here. Waiting for the blimp camera to come around. Unfortunately, might not be the case for the blimp camera to come around, so well, regardless, we will go over your finishing results here for this race here at Kentucky after 35 laps. Jay Beasley comes home Joshua Clark comes home victorious. Jay Beasley, unfortunately, not so much after losing the lead in the final few laps. Dale Carter finishes in the 3rd place position and didn't really go anywhere. Luckily for him, a very relatively quiet day for that 3rd place finisher and the driver of the number 11. Eric Eisenbeck finishes 4th. 5th place went to Blake Brown. Alex Goydam, Ryan Berry, Scott McClendon, Christian Novak, and Brad Lane finish 6th through 10th. Finishing in 11th place, it is going to be the number 20 of Bradley Yo, I believe is how it is pronounced. And Charles McDonald Jr. comes home in the 12th place position with Keel Hankins, Kirill Kapista. Apologies for mispronouncing names here. I believe that is Kirill Capistico, I believe. I probably mispronounced that. Apologies. But did a great job after starting from 23rd, made their way up to 14th. Douglas Gullett finishes 15th with Rex Nelson, Eric Ramirez, Edward Kane, Adam Brady, and Jacob Gibson running out 16th through 20th. And the rest of the field, Tanner Hochester, definitely mispronounced that. Apologies. It's been a very weird day, especially with technical issues for some odd reasons, so apologies. But Tanner Hodges, I believe I said it correctly before, but Tanner H, regardless, finishes 21st. Blake McCandles finishes 22nd. 23rd, Johnny Reed Foley, and Stefan B finishes in the 24th place position. So apologies for any of the technical issues that have occurred, and definitely my mispronunciation of names. But regardless, we'll be here back next week at the same time, hopefully with less connection issues for whatever reason that has decided to bestow me from the from YouTube. But it will be 60 laps at the short track of South Boston next week, also under the lights. So we shall see how that goes. More than likely going to be pretty, definitely throwing a wrench into things for some of these drivers. So we shall see how drivers handle that. Until then, this has been the Racing Line Broadcasting Network bringing you the iRacing National Series, the top split here for tonight. We hope to see you again next week, hopefully with better pronunciation and hopefully less buffering over on the side of YouTube. Again, apologies for both of those, but we hope to see you next time regardless. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you next time.